Hi, today I'm going to complete the assignment number 3. To complete the assignment number 3, I create a package named Assignment3. For the first question, I take a class naming printing number with the main method. So our question first asking to a user input is asking a user input. To get the user input, I create a scanner naming it user input, and as well I use the system.in. And to hold the value from the user input, I I create a variable here and naming it as UI, and as it is a integer type variable, I declare it as integer, and I use the next int, so as it is an integer. So now to print out this as a pattern, as our question asks from us to print the user input as a pattern, as so I am using here a for loop. So in the for loop, I am using the I as the integer, which will start from the 0, and it will run till the user input. Suppose input if I give the value 10, it will print till 10, from 0 to 10. And as our question asks to increase the value by 4, so from 0 it will print 0 4, then 4 plus 4 8, then 8 plus 4 12. It will print like this, so it will increase by 4. So and then it will enter the loop and it will print the I. So if we, and then if we run it, you see it's asking a user input. So if we input the 20 and enter, we can see it's starting from 0, as the integer I is starting from 0, then it's increasing by 4 as the I is increasing by 4, so 4 8 12, and it's printing till 20. We can see that print the integer as we print the 20, so it's printing till 20. So and one thing we should be notice here, I didn't use the ln here to print them in a line, and here I used a code /t inside the quotation to print them, to make a space between them. Otherwise, comment it if I comment it, we can see there will be no space between them. If we print 20, here there is no space. So if I use this code, I can get a space between the prints between them. Okay, now I'll comment it out to complete our second question. Sorry. Just, okay. Now I'm going to complete our second question, which is asking to give a backward printout, which is asking for a backward printout here. So it's backward to 0. So I have a comment here. If I uncomment it, now our question is asking for the backward. If it is 20, then it will go through 20 to 0, like 20 19, and it will decrease by 1. So for integer, I'm using a for loop here again, and for that the I, which will start from the user input, so it will start from the user, whatever the user will give, and it will work till the 0, and it will decrease by 1. So if you run this code now, you see nothing is here, and if it's asking for user input, if we give the input for 10, and we can see the value is printing like 10 98. It is starting from the user input 10 and is decreasing by 1, like 10 minus 1 9, 9 minus 1 8, and it's printing till the 0, as we say here. And we know I use the code for the spacing between them, and there is no ln. This is just print to print them in a single line. So basically this is the first two questions I just complete. Then to complete the third question, which is asking to build a basic calculator. So if for the calculator I create a class called calculator here. This is the calculator class, and inside the calculator class the question is asking for two numbers. Build a basic calculator and ask for a number and then ask for a second number. So I create a scanner here. We know how to create the scanner and to ask two integers. If I uncomment them, then you can see okay, I'll uncomment the codes from here. Here I comment that. Okay, so first of all I need two integers. So as we know that for calculator we need the fraction values. Otherwise if we divide any small numbers by the big numbers, like if we divide 5 by 10, then we cannot get the result as there is a fraction. So get the fraction numbers, we should use the float type variable. Otherwise if we use the integer we cannot get the exact result. For that we cannot get the result. So I am using here the float variable for holding the user input to. So I'm taking here a float integer float variable, naming it as a, and as we know from the next float we can take it from the dot, and then I select the float next float, which is the float type variable. Then the same thing, I take another variable, float variable, naming it as a b, so I can get two variables to a user input. Then I take another one, as because our question is asking some string values like add, sum, multiply, division, something. So here I take the value for string values to get the add, multiply, something like that. And now to create the calculator I use the if and else if statements. Here what happens, if the user input if the string variable, if the user string variable they ask for adding, as we know that if I cut it, if we can see that if I cut it, this is the string type. What first the user will give a input, the string the float input, like that one number, then user will give another number, then user have to say what he want to do, what kind of operation he have to do, like add or minus or subtract or whatever. So to to do this, what kind of operation, like we can use the OPP. Then if we press the dot, from here we can ask for the equals. As this is the string type, we have to use the equal, we cannot give it directly. So equal, from here we can see the equals object, and so we should use this one equals, and if you use the add here, oh sorry, not this one. So if we use the equals eq, if you use the equal, and here there is a data which is asking equals ignore case. So if you use this one equal ignore case, and for that we need a string argument, string another string. So you have to use this one equals ignore case, which doesn't care about the what kind of string we are entering. Like for the add, it doesn't mean we have to use the uppercase or lowercase, so you can use this one. So if you use add, it will add the two numbers. Then if we use the minus, then it will subtract the two numbers. And if we ask for multi, it will multiply the two numbers, and if we ask for division, it will divide them. So I can just use the div, I can use the mul as the question asked from us, and I can use the min. If I run it now, first the program is asking for a float or for a number as the first line. So if I give like 5 and enter, then it's asking for another number. So now if I give like 7 and enter, then it's asking from me that what kind of operation I want to do. So if I ask for add, then it will go the first statement, first operation, which is adding the two numbers. If I say the enter, I can see the, this operation is adding two numbers like 7 plus 5 is equal to 12. So again, if I run the program again, and if I ask for 10, then enter, and then I have to give another number, it will be 5, and then it's asking for what kind of operation I want to do with them. So if I press div, it will say 2, and then again if I run this and I ask for 5, then 10 and enter, so if I press the div, then I can see that it's printing the fraction value 2, because I use the using the float variable is printing the fraction variables, fraction values, which is important for calculator. Okay, so now our fourth question is asking user for a string and print if the string is palindrome. Okay, so for the palindrome, we know the palindrome means the alternate. Okay, so for this question,